Welcome back. Another meal prep Sunday. So this week I am meal prepping on a budget. So I'm going to show that eating healthy and going to the grocery store in and out in $50 or less is possible. But first, my first piece of advice is don't go to the grocery store hungry. So I'm going to eat something first. So that saying that you shouldn't go to the grocery store hungry is true, which is why I'm eating my breakfast in the car in the Publix parking lot. But seriously, don't go to the grocery store hungry. Second thing, this is what helps me tremendously staying on track with the budget and going in the grocery store to get only what I'm planning on getting. I write down my list either in the notes section in my phone or on a piece of paper. And here's the biggest thing that helps me. Right beside each item, because I'm going in there with a budget of $50, I write beside each item, ground chicken, $10, rice, $4. This dollar amount helps me, I can put my food down. Writing that dollar amount beside each item helps me stay on track. So I give myself the most detail I can possibly have. So I'm going in the store with tunnel vision to stay on track. Get in and get out $50 or less. That's what helps me. I managed to get out of Publix under $50. $48.71. I'm gonna show you what I got. Like I said, I always go in with protein, carbs, and fats in mind, so I'm gonna break them down for you. Here's protein: ground chicken, ground turkey, chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are a lot fattier, but they're also a lot cheaper. This was not on my list, and I still managed to get out under $50, but I thought this would be good for breakfast. Eggs are always, and that's from sticking my hand in the candle, lighting my candles. Eggs are always a great source of protein, so 100% recommend always having eggs on hand. And these, of course, ranch, hickory smoked, sweet and spicy, and another ranch. These are my favorite to take to work. Carb sources for the week: spinach, green beans. I prefer the whole ones. I'm gonna season them up. I got 1 can of spinach because I'm gonna make some cheese and spinach turkey burgers and probably some chicken burgers. And carb sources, pretty much always the same. Red lentil penne pasta. Not only is this a carb source, but look at that protein, 13 grams for 2 ounces. So I'm adding more protein along with carbs here. Boil in a bag, jasmine rice, another carb source. And last but not least, I'm almost out of this, so I went ahead and got some more. This is very expensive mayonnaise, y'all, but the main ingredient, always look at your main ingredient. Main ingredient is avocado oil. There is 12 grams of healthy fats in 1 tablespoon of this mayonnaise. Yes, it's more expensive, but I promise you, when you pay more money, you absolutely will pay attention to serving size. So I'm gonna start cooking and I'll show you when I'm finished. All right, first things first, remember I said I was gonna make burgers with the spinach. The spinach, it's canned spinach, so it holds a lot of liquid. So I'm gonna let this strain, and then before I put it in the burgers, I'm actually gonna squeeze even more liquid out of it. But in the meantime, while I'm preparing everything else, I'm gonna let that spinach strain. Look at this, I am done. This took less than 45 minutes to get all this stuff done. I got this ground chicken. I mixed half of the can of the spinach in here. I have to sneak my vegetables in sometimes, y'all. But this I'm gonna make spaghetti with, whatever I want to with this right here. But for now, spaghetti. I have 2 cans of green beans. This is the seasoning that I always use for my meat and vegetables. And these, oh my God, these are the ground turkey with half the can of spinach and, where'd it go? And this, I just had like maybe a quarter of the bag left down here. So I made 2, 4, 5 burgers, spinach and that cheese. So the cheese on the bottom kind of makes a crispy crust on the outside. They're gonna be so good. Here is the chicken. This was in the air fryer while I was cooking everything else. I cooked these at 400 for 12 minutes, so very good. Seasoned them with that seasoning over there. I'm hungry, so this is a snack. I just put a serving of my Primal Kitchens mayo and just a little teaspoon or so of this zero sugar Carolina barbecue sauce. And this is gonna be my snack while I finish bagging everything. And that is meal prep, y'all. Here's what I was talking about. These are the macros for the burgers, okay? I took every ingredient that I added. We'll start with the cheese. This is how much I put in here. So there's 8 grams of fat, 2 grams of carbs, and 8 grams of protein. I did that for every ingredient. The total for everything, cheese, spinach, turkey, 1 egg, and the oil and butter. And I probably overestimated on the butter and the olive oil because I used so little. So this is probably an overestimate, but that's okay. I'd rather be over than under. All right, so total for every one of those ingredients, 56 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs, and 108 grams of protein. I made 5 burgers, so divide all of those numbers by 5. Each burger has 11.2 grams of fat, 4.4 grams of carbs, and 21 grams of protein. There we go. I'm gonna talk supplements real quick because the number one macro that people have trouble hitting is the protein, okay? I try to get as much protein as possible through my food, plant sources, dairy sources, and animal protein. But there are some days, because consuming 150 to 160 grams of protein on a daily basis sometimes is hard. That's a lot of food. Then you gotta figure in carbs and fats. So protein powder right here, level 1, first form. This flavor is cinnamon cookie batter. I have lots to choose from, but these are 2 of my favorite, German chocolate cake and cinnamon cookie batter. This one's almost gone. But in each scoop, there are 24 grams of protein in 1 scoop here. So I try not to do more than once a day, but sometimes, especially at night, if I'm wanting something sweet, I'll make a mud cake out of this protein powder. But I also keep at work, like I talk about all the staple things that I use week in and week out in my diet to help me stay on track. And number 1, that's yogurt and cottage cheese. I add yogurt and cottage cheese to the tuna packs so that every single meal, I try to eat at least 4 times a day. Every single meal, I'm getting a minimum, bare minimum of 20 grams of protein with each meal. Sometimes it's a lot more. Sometimes it's up to 40 grams of protein. But sometimes I have to fill in the gaps with supplements. So that yogurt that I have in my refrigerator at work, I have several packs, Ziploc bags, several Ziploc bags full of different flavored protein powders in my desk drawer at work. So I'm adding a scoop of protein powder to yogurt, which is awesome, by the way. I add it in my shake in the morning after my workout with coconut water. So I always keep coconut water on hand. And these are my don't go without supplements from First Form OptiGreens, because I've told you over and over and over, I do not eat enough vegetables and fruits. Not because I'm scared of the sugar with the fruits, I'm just not a fan of fruit. I'm just not. There's very little fruits that I like, and even though I like them, I don't eat them a lot. Reds and greens, right here. There's more carbs in here, okay? So after my workout, every day that I work out, I have a little container of coconut water that I mix 1 scoop of protein powder and 2 scoops of each of the reds and greens. So I'm getting the protein and the carbs immediately after my workout. So post-workout, protein and carbs every single time. Prioritizing protein every day with every meal, and prioritizing protein and carbs within a couple of hours after working out. So post-workout, your muscles need protein and they need carbs. Protein for replenishment, protein for rebuilding, carbs for replenishing that glycogen that you lost from your muscles during your workout. So there's that. I'm going to leave all this information down in the comments. And if you have any questions about supplements, questions about anything, you know what to do. All right, we'll see y'all next week. All right, all done. From start to finish, it was less than an hour. I'm gonna go over everything I've got all bagged up, because if you know, Ziploc bags are where it's at for meal prepping and carrying stuff to work, because it's less things that I have to remember. I don't have to wash dishes. I don't have to remember to bring dishes home. It's convenient for me. If you're trying to save the environment and use less plastic, then you figure out something for you, what works for you. But Ziploc bags have worked for a very long time for me. I love doing it this way. So I had these left over from my Trader Joe's shopping last Sunday. So these are a good fat source: chili and garlic cashews, high in fat. Watch your servings. Always use coconut or olive oil, another healthy fat source, okay? So you cook with this, make sure you're just mindful of how many teaspoons or tablespoons you're using, and then count that with your macros, okay? All right, here we go. So I have them all stacked up here. I don't know if you can see, but over here, I have one stack here, one stack here, one stack here, one stack here. I'm just gonna show you what's in each stack because all the stacks are the same. So in each stack, I have one tuna pack, 15 grams of protein in each one. I am prioritizing protein every single day, okay? Carbs, got one little bag of green beans. This is the ground chicken that I put half that can of spinach in, so I've got protein, fat, and carbs in this bag. Here is the turkey burger. Yes, this is ground chicken. This is ground turkey. So I have the other half of the can of spinach in here, plus about it was a little bit more than one serving. So how I'm gonna count my macros, again, batch cooking. We're thinking batch cooking. Oh, and don't forget Kerrygold butter. I fried my burgers in a little tiny bit of olive oil, not even a half of a serving, and a little bit of butter. So I'm gonna count the macros from the butter, from the oil, from the entire pack of ground turkey, half a can of the spinach. There's 3 servings in this can of spinach. One serving is a half a cup. I'm gonna multiply these macros times 3, and I made 5 burgers. Then I'm gonna take, I forgot the cheese, add up your fats, carbs, and proteins from every single ingredient that you put into something, and I made 5 burgers. So I'm gonna take all of those total macros and divide it by 5. I'm gonna eat 1 burger a day, so 5 into however many fats, protein, and carbs, that's the macros in 1 burger. Same for this. I have to sneak my vegetables in, okay? Sometimes I have to sneak them in because I don't love vegetables and I don't love fruit. So this is the ground chicken. I put the other half a can of spinach in here. There's no cheese, but there is some olive oil and a tad bit of butter. So again, I'm gonna take all of the macros, the other half a can of this spinach, 1/4 of a teaspoon of oil, whatever the butter is. I'm gonna estimate on that. It's not gonna be too far plus or minus, okay? I'm gonna take every ingredient I have in here, and there's 4 servings. The macros are on the pack. I haven't thrown anything away yet because I'm gonna figure out everything here in a minute. But you take all of your ingredients, divide it by however many servings you have, and trust me, that's good enough. If you obsess over it too much, it's just gonna be too much and you're gonna overwhelm yourself. So don't stress about it too much. That's close enough. So every stack has these things. This does not include my breakfast, and this does not include my extra carbs that I like to cook the day of, okay? So these are little individual bags of rice. Takes, 6 minutes to boil. This protein pasta, there's even more protein here, takes 7-8 minutes to boil. I boil that while I'm getting ready in the morning, and it's done. That's super quick. So the eggs, really fast, really easy source of protein. Always keep eggs on hand. If you like tuna, keep the tuna packs on hand. At Publix, those were 10 for 10 today. It was the same price, actually cheaper to buy them in the bags than it was the cans. Canned tuna has gotten really expensive these days. But here's my receipt. I'll take a picture of it. I got out in under $50. Now this does not include Friday, because Friday I'm gonna let loose a little bit and I'm gonna go out to eat and not worry about macros on Friday. But this is Monday through Thursday. And that is it. In and out of the kitchen. I've got to wash dishes over here. Very little dishes. Crank the music up. Do whatever you got to do to make it fun, to make it enjoyable and not seem like a chore. That's why I have Ziploc bags. I don't have to worry about bringing dishes home and washing dishes. One less thing for me to remember. If it works for you, great. It's just an idea to hopefully help you along in your meal prep journey. And if you always, if you have any questions, you can post them down below. Follow me on Instagram. I'll leave all that information down in the comments. And we'll see y'all again next Sunday.